Hi, this is Nate Ulrich, Akron Beacon Journal sports writer with Marla Ridenour and Steve Doerschuck here at Browns training camp. We're here to do a quick 3 and out for you after the second day of practice. This is Freddie Kitchens' first training camp as a head coach, and really it's kind of stood out to us that there was a little bit of false advertising on the schedule. When the practices said 10 to noon, they're ending more like 12:30, and he said yesterday, hey, we're going to go until we get it right. What have you noticed about Camp Freddie so far?
Well, I think he's really being tough. Yesterday, they had like about a 3-minute discussion when there was something on special teams he didn't like. He called the whole team together, and you could hear him chewing them out. Today, he was not at all happy with the way the red zone drills went. They were scoring at will, and he said the defense has got to defend every blade of grass. We got to learn how to practice. He doesn't like, how some of the rookies are, taking some cheap shots. I mean, I think it's really, it's a dramatic change from maybe what we expected, or at least what we've seen recently.
Steve, you want any thoughts on Camp Freddie?
Sure. One thing that quickly came to my mind yesterday, Nate and Marla, was that there's kind of a tie between when the Browns came back in 1999 with Camp Palmer, Coach Chris Palmer, and now with Freddie Kitchens. Back then, Chris, who hadn't been a head coach until then, felt it necessary to be in somebody's face all the time and always be talking to people and kind of be making a show that he was in charge, which I thought was fine. I didn't think he was faking it. I thought he was halfway decent. He just didn't have much of a roster to do it with. But here, Freddie Kitchens is certainly doing that. There's no doubt, if you get up close to what's going on out there on the practice field, that Freddie Kitchens is in charge. You can hear him using real salty language when he's in a player's face, saying, "No, get inside." He was yelling at somebody with expletives yesterday in one of the plays. Get inside. And another time, he was fed up and he kind of knocked himself on the head and said, "We're 2 periods in and we're doing that," whatever that was. But at the same time, he's being himself. It's natural to him. A moment after he was yelling at guys, he was joking with the water boy, and the water boy came away from the scene laughing. So he's both in charge and also himself, the personable guy who used that to get the job.
In addition to Freddie's first camp, a big storyline is the arrival of Odell Beckham Jr. here and his first training camp with any team other than the Giants in the NFL, and working with Baker Mayfield in his first training camp as an NFL starter. He got that late start last year. He had to come in week 3 after Tyrod Taylor got hurt. So we've seen Mayfield take charge. We've seen Beckham make spectacular plays. He stole the show in the first practice yesterday with back-to-back great catches in an 11-on-11 period. Later had a touchdown catch in a red zone. Today you saw something, Steve, after practice. He just loves to put on a show. What was it that caught your eye?
Right, he didn't intend it. Well, I guess maybe he intended to steal the show because he was back there lining up, plotting what he was going to do.
I think he did.
Yeah, good point. But the biggest roar out of the crowd today that I think we could remember was at the end. There was a kickoff that came out of a machine. Beckham was lined up back deep, and nobody knew what he was going to do. But as the long end over end kick got there, he just stuck up a paw and reached back and caught the ball with one hand. And I know we could do that in our backyard, but probably not with a big crowd watching.
You know what? He was my camper of the day for day one, hands down. Another cool thing, and I know you talked to Jarvis Landry today about this, the reunion of Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry and the flashbacks they're having from their LSU days is really cool. Remember, Landry sat out spring practices, so this is the first time they've been able to practice together as teammates in the NFL.
I think they really realize how special this is, and they're figuring out how they're going to lead this team along with Baker Mayfield. I was really impressed with when Odell said that he and Landry have sort of cooked this up where I'm the leadoff hitter and he's the number 9 hitter, and Jarvis is going to lead from the back, and
meaning that in position drills,
but also that he, like, Jarvis can oversee everything and pick it up when things are lagging. He's going to be watching from the back end, and Odell is going to try to set the tone. I mean, I think it's a really cool strategy, and that way they're not sort of competing on who's, obviously the more flamboyant one is Odell's personality.
I'm going to segue to my camper of the day for day 2, being Greedy Williams. 2 interceptions today. He is part of a position battle. In the spring, he ended the spring with some really good performances, and he was the first team cornerback opposite Denzel Ward. Well, Terrence Mitchell has been in there. Money Mitch, as they like to call him around here. He's been in there with Ward, so that's a position battle to watch. Greedy Williams and Terrence Mitchell for that number 2 corner job. TJ Carey's in the mix too, but they're in nickel most of the time, and TJ Carey is the number 1 nickel, so he's going to get a lot of playing time. Those 4 corners are going to be big factors. Another position battle that we've been talking about off camera when we're watching practices on the field is right guard. First day it was Austin Corbett with the ones. Today Kyle Kalis with the ones, and tomorrow the pads go on for the first time, so that's a big moment in this position battle. What do you notice in there, Steve?
What I notice is that it is a real competition, and I'll bet you in their private conversations upstairs, even though right guard is a genuine possession battle, in a sense it doesn't matter. And the reason it doesn't matter is this is a regime, the John Dorsey regime, that has its quarterback now, and what the line is and where the line is going speaks to how they view Baker Mayfield and just how confident in Baker Mayfield they are. But whoever winds up at right guard, I think their conclusion is that Baker Mayfield is going to be able to work around whoever wins the right guard battle. I'm pretty sure that's if I have to bet your car and Marla's golf clubs on that right now, I would bet that it's Corbett. But I think it goes to whatever happens on the offensive line. They think that Baker Mayfield will be fine with whatever it is because he's that good of an improviser, and he did well last year.
I agree. I do think that Kevin Zeitler's a big loss, though, so they would like somebody to come in and play well there. Do you have any feelings on the right guard position because he's betting your golf clubs away?
Well, that would have to be my dad's golf clubs, but no, I mean, I'm kind of with Steve that I don't know if it matters, but I think it matters that I think they need to settle on someone sooner rather than later, okay. Because I really want those guys to have time to gel, and so I mean, I don't want this thing to go down to the week of the opener. I really think they need to make a decision sooner, like maybe after a couple preseason games.
I agree, and I'll leave you with this. Another big competition, there are a few others, but kicker. We know how important it is. It's the difference between wins and losses many times. We saw it last year with the Browns, and we've got Austin Seibert and Greg Joseph going at it. Austin Seibert being the 5th round pick out of Oklahoma this year. Today, they took center stage for a little bit. Joseph went 4 for 4, Seibert went 3 for 4, so right now, I think Joseph's just got a little bit of a leg up, so we'll see how that develops. Based on draft status, Seibert has a real advantage, so keep an eye on that, and the preseason games will be really crucial for those guys. But thanks for watching, and we will keep bringing you stuff from training camp.